Brodes Media.
It smells like a Stanley Cup. It smells like a Stanley Cup at the Xfinity Mobile Arena. Wow, was the barn rocking today. Wow. Did you think they were going to let this one slip? Up 2-0. Coots. He's taking over. It becomes 2-2. A shorty? No! Vladar just falls over by his post. Oh! At one point, you got pinned in your own D zone for 7 minutes. But what if I told you, number 46 with a sick back tuck with his jersey, by the way. He's got 2 men on him in the O zone behind the net. He's behind the goal line. This guy throws the most ridiculous seed right to Coots, right in the bread basket, and this guy lights the lamp to finish off the electric night. That was the best I've seen out of Sean Couturier in fucking forever. And Charlie O'Connor tweeted this after the game. Apparently, he says he feels better now than he did before surgery. So is it possible that we have the healthiest version of the captain that we've had in a long time, on top of not having a coach like Torch who's throwing him on the fourth and telling him to shove it? Man, that changes a lot. So I got to be honest with you. I kind of ruled it out for him to just be a weirdly overpaid guy that you like to have in the room. That pass to Drysdale, where he went crossbar, that could have been added to the list of points. Without him, there's no Tyson Forster goal. Now, it's wicked to see Forster in tight space keep the puck on his stick, and what a rocket he has to snap off that forehand. But without Sean Couturier, you're not even in a position for that. And maybe if Bob was in net, that goal doesn't go in, but I don't care. I'm not taking anything away from this effort. Even though they lost the lead, I mean, there were some rough penalty calls to Hathaway. And here's the thing, actually, with that. I didn't mind the call, but you got to call Jet Luchenko getting blown up and tripped. It almost looked knee to knee and nasty if I saw the replay correctly. But you got to call that. You got to call the trip. The trip was awful. And he actually was able to draw 2 penalties, believe it or not. I have a Jet Luchenko take I'll get to a little bit later. I just want to really focus on real quickly the fact that Sean Couturier was so good. That was so good from Sean Couturier. And I just personally didn't know if we ever had that version of Sean Couturier ever again. He looked that crisp. He was moving. His passes, he just created so much. He just gave other guys some electric chances. And he had a breakaway in the first, which he went airborne on. He finishes posting in. You hear the ping. Oh, give me the ping. We love the ping. You're at the barn and you hear the ping and the That's the buzzer. That's the loud horn. Oh, feed me the cup. I need the cup. Dude, they had a power play. And I believe off the top of my head, it was Zegras who had a sick one-timer on that power play. Owen Tippett, Jamie Drysdale, Mitchkov, and TK. And that was the best power play. Going back to how amazing this is, it seems like I haven't seen competent hockey to some level in a long time. Even though that's unfair, 2 years ago, they did have a nice season, but shut up. That power play in particular was the greatest setup and the greatest grade A scoring chances and the greatest puck movement that we've had on a man advantage. Seriously, since I was maybe 12. They didn't score, but the crowd was even cheering and going berserk and going nuts just to appreciate the fact that that's what an NHL power play is supposed to look like. I could never wrap my brain around under Torch. We have these guys and, you know, look, we had Mitchkov. We had TK. We had Drysdale. Tippett's been here. And I don't want to downplay the improvement offensively and the passing and the one-timer that Zegras provides for you, but, I mean, this is an NHL power play. Not always. They gave up a shorty. It's not perfect, but I saw a glimpse of it, just like I saw a glimpse of Coots. I didn't know if we'd ever see glimpses. We're getting glimpses. Can you continue to build off that is the real question. And think this, if they didn't get screwed in Carolina, they're 2-1-1, right? Because what are they? No, they're 1-1-1. So, no, would they be 2-1? Yeah, 2-1. Because they would have lost the first game in regulation against Florida. I thought Vladar, again, made some really key saves. Sometimes, though, he flops like a fish. Sometimes he gets in desperation mode. I don't know what happened. He just fell. He literally just fell on the game-tying goal, and then they scored from a weird angle with a nice pass from behind the net. I don't know what that was all about. But it's just, again, and I'm not going to repeat myself a billion times every year, for the goalies in particular, it's just about how long they last. If this is Vladar every time he touches the ice, then we're going to win a lot of hockey games. If Ursin is what Ursin was in game one, then we're going to win a lot of hockey games. It just has never been the case for Ursin. And Vladar, I'm learning on the fly. It's a new experience for me watching him, you know. So we'll see. He makes some really solid plays, though. All right, I buried the lead. Matvei Mitchkov, benched. Before we get into Matvei Mitchkov, though, and we even have audio from Spit and Chicklets for you, let me tell you something about my friends over at Emilio Cigars. You know I love my cigars. You know they're the greatest in the world to me. You know I love my old school roots, new school attitude, locally owned, third generation, made at Fabrico, Veja Negra, Nicaragua. You know that there's only one cigar to smoke, and that is an Emilio cigar. So do me a favor. If you are an enjoyer of the cigar, make sure you go to their website down below in the description, and there are so many options for you. You have so many available for you, and you can get 10% off by using code BRODES10 at checkout. It's just perfect for relaxing, going out back, enjoying the fall weather, whether it's you're hanging out with your friends and you say, yo, fellas, let's sit around the campfire, have a couple cold ones, light a few up, whether you're hanging out with family, you name it. Emilio Cigars, it just fits every single situation you ever find yourself in. And do not be a fool. Make sure you join the Emilio Cigar family today. All right, so Rick Tocchet benched Matvei Mitchkov. Again, you did not see him for a decent amount of time in that third period, and they went with Grebenkin. And by the way, Grebenkin, he's fun, man. He's fun. He's fun. He's had some shifts where he's working along the walls and he somehow escapes a couple of bodies. And I like his board play. Yeah, I like a lot of what he brings. There's this excitement about him when he touches the puck. I'm really fascinated to watch that role. But again, I'm burying the lead again. I mean, Matvei Mitchkov now has been benched by John Tortorella and now Rick Tocchet. And I'm not saying anything long-term and making it seem like this is going to be a mess forever. I saw a lot of passes. There were a lot of sequences with him today where I thought I saw his vision in the making. Now, one of them, it was kind of a poor drop pass right inside the blue line. At least it wasn't in your own D zone. That would be a nightmare. It was at least in the offensive zone. And maybe you could make the argument if there's a defenseman out there that is a little bit sharper, because this D-core is super shaky and is what it is. Maybe, you know, some of these guys don't take risks the same way as Sanheim would, and maybe they're just not on the same wavelength because they're not caught up with Matvei Mitchkov's mental side of the game and the way he sees the game. I think that is possible with that one drop pass specifically. I saw his vision in his tight spaces, a nice little sauce to get somebody cut into the net, into the slot for a grade A scoring chance. Just missed it. I saw some good passes, but at the end of the day, there was the penalty right around the neutral zone area, which put him in the box. It's a stick penalty. You got it right into his midsection. They're going to call that every single day of the week, so you must be sharper there. And from there, you know, that third period, you're seeing other guys take his spot. I got to say, and this may surprise some of you because in the long run, I am a Matvei Mitchkov guy, and I want him out there to learn, and this is what it's all about. But I'm going to give Thoat a little bit of a leash here to push certain strings, because if he wants to set a certain foundation in the room, these type of moves matter. These type of statements hit the locker room, all right? It's a big deal that this is happening to Matvei Mitchkov. It's Thoat sort of going in there saying, I'm a good communicator. I'm better at that than the last guy was. But let's be honest. You're not just going to walk all over me and give me half-ass. You got to bring it. You got to do your job. Which brings me to what was stated on Spittin' Chicklets. This was going around Twitter. This was Spittin' Chicklets on Matvei Mitchkov. Whoops. Give me a second. I don't have my settings right. Here we go.
I got little birdies everywhere, and I'm hearing that he didn't come in great shape.
He's out of shape. He's out of shape.
That's really?
Yeah.
I heard
not
that.
From talk,
you heard
obviously.
that too?
No, not from talk, but I heard he's out of shape.
Yeah, so obviously that's people are aware of that.
We interviewed Talk what was it, like 3 weeks ago?
That was before training camp.
No, that was I think that was
who did you hear
if not
that
August,
from? You got
early
you got
September.
A birdie? Who told you?
I got birdie. I got birdies in Philly.
Can't
Great golf in Philly. Some of the best golf in the world.
I don't care about the golf game, although you're not wrong. I see the reaction of people automatically trying to say Kevin Hayes is the worm and he's the one who's putting all this nonsense out there and blah, 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 blah. And I can't trust the Boston guy and Ryan Whitney. And here's the thing. Use your eyes. He looks in quicksand, at least over the first two games, and obviously he gets benched again here in this third game. Forget who's saying it. Use your eyes. And I find it very strange that the Flyers the same day come out and automatically just throw into the ether that he had an ankle problem. And maybe he did have an ankle problem. They're saying he had an ankle problem after all this started to circulate online, even though nobody heard of it at all. The thing is, even if that's true, which I feel there's damage control involved, but let's say that's true, he could still be out of shape. There's just a reason why he's out of shape. But when you watch him, he doesn't look strong. He doesn't look solid. He doesn't look up to the standard. And I was hoping, based off of everything we heard about his mental approach with Danny Briere and the list of things that he needs to work on. And again, I'm not telling you I'm ruling him out. I'm a huge fan of his game. But I'm not going to pretend like there isn't something. He's getting benched to start the year. Something's happening here, you know? And maybe he didn't give it his all this summer. And maybe not. I'm not telling you it is the truth. But I'm not ignoring the fact that you go from Torts to Tocchet and they're handling Mitchkov the same exact way. I'm not going to give the kid a free pass and say you can do whatever the hell you want. And that applies to everybody. But you got to start with those type of big personalities so then it creeps and sinks into the walls at Voorhees, at the Flyer skate zone. You're trying to build something here. It would just be upsetting because I thought he was the complete opposite, where he was obsessed with the craft so much that he was going to come in and look the way maybe Tyson Forster does, look the way Bobby Brink does, look the part of carrying the franchise. And it's been a slow start. And maybe the ankle's causing him to have a weaker offseason. And, if that's the case and his ankle still hurts, and I can't imagine it gets any better. So hopefully it's not something like Bryce Harper's wrist, where in the offseason he had problems and he didn't do certain things, and then he had problems in the regular season because it just couldn't heal the right way. And I hope it's not something like that. That would stink. Now, it would be better than him just half-assing it and dogging it, because then at least there's a reason why. But I'm not going to pretend like there's nothing happening. There's something happening. We just continue to monitor. I'm hashtag Mitchkov watching. Is that what I started to do? I forget what I called it. I called it Mitchkov watch. Grabenkin out instead of Mitchkov on the last shift. Mitchkov also sat during the power play. That was Bill Meltzer, who I quote tweeted mid-game. All right, why don't we do this? Why don't we take a listen to that sick game-winning goal? And I'm just in love that Bobby Brink was able to get that empty netter, though, for me. Because, you know, I go to the bar and I want to see Bobby Brink, because it goes Bobby Brink, Alex Ovechkin, Wayne Gretzky. You know the saying. You know the all-time classic. Here is the sexiness, my friends. Hold on. Nope, that's the empty netter. I'm never good at this. Empty netter, empty netter. Oh, here it is, baby.
Lots of room. Greg in across the line. Greg dropping it back off the mark. Connecting. He's got Couturier. The breakaway for the captain. He scored!
That wasn't it. Okay, nope. Wrong. There's so many cutesy goals. There's so many cutesy goals that I don't even know which one to choose. There's so many to choose from. That's how dominant he was as the captain. That's my C. All right, here it is. Ew, here it is. Ew.
Bennett runs him over as he went a long way to get to him. Zegras then crunched into by Bennett. Got it in front. Couturier. He scored! What a setup from Zegras. Couturier buries it. 3-point night for the captain, and they have the lead back with 4:10 to play.
What happened to the big horn? What happened to the horn? I want more horn. We love when we're horn. I don't know. It's a dumb joke. All right, let's go to the phones. Let's go to Ryan in Tampa, as we always do.
Brodes, your boy Ryan from Tampa. I am fired the hell up. Wow, that was fun, wasn't it? We talked about how fun this team is watching it, right? And Zegras to Coots, it was like Picasso with a cheesesteak behind the net. Just beautiful artistry, sending it right to him for that power play goal. Man, I've never seen the power play move as well as it did tonight. I would say the only thing they have to clean up really is the penalties and defensively, but man, they were hungry tonight and I loved it. What a victory.
Yeah, for sure. I thought for a good half, more than just that, I'm saying a good portion of this game, the Flyers were in control. They were out physicaling them. And truth be told, though, there was a part of me that was thinking, imagine winning back-to-back Stanley Cups. And then in game 4, because I think they were 3-0 at the time, you're on the road in Philly for a regular season game. That's got to be so straight. I'm watching Brad Marchand. I'm watching Reinhart. I'm watching Sam Bennett. And I'm thinking, these guys are Stanley Cup warriors. These guys, I mean, this game was fun, right? Ryan, think about what you just said. It's crazy. I'm flyered up. This team's playing fun, right? They do it with the intensity of winning a Stanley Cup in playoff rounds, game 7s, back-to-back grind of hoisting the cup. This is game 3 that I'm sitting over here ready to go streaking about. Then they have to somehow find ways every single night to reach that high. Imagine what that emotional high is like playing in those games. The adrenaline, the nerves, the pit in the stomach. And you play Philly on a Tuesday, on a Monday. It's just got to be weird. But that's not really a big care in the world here. I thought they played more physical. I thought they brought it. And then you had that little window where you could see just talent overpowered. But of course, that makes it look like the Flyers were bad. But overall, I didn't think they played bad. If they were to lose that game, it was more along the lines of they just out-talented you. You know, they just have too many horses. Even without Bob, they just had too much. And I think some of the calls sucked. You also had a couple of power plays where Seth Jones puts it over the glass, and that gives you a chance. And you know, like maybe you could have had more of those great power plays that we saw. The one, could we have 2 of those? Is that too much to ask for 2 of those in a game? And maybe you could actually finish and you're not even in that predicament. Instead of it being 2-2, it's 3-2, and you just have a nice, comfortable lead, and Bobby Brink gets the empty netter, but you're not sweating it out waiting for a 6 Zegras pass. That pass reminded me of exactly what he did when he was on the power play the other night in Carolina, and Owen Tippett was getting the shot that went wide from Travis Konechny. He had his back turned. You could see the puck protection. You could see the way he does it, and he shifts, and he kind of just uses his body so nicely before sending the puck somewhere. He just threaded the needle, man. It was just smooth sound. It was like perfectly aligned with where it needed to be in the wheelhouse for Coots. And I think you could tell the not the monkey off the back, but just a feel-good moment for Coots when he fist pumped after that breakaway. And maybe it's because he had a breakaway going the other way in the first period, and he kind of got caught, and then he ran into the goalie and went up into the air, and he maybe didn't get what he was looking for there, and the chance he got, the second chance, got him all fired up. But for him to have a lot of points and a crooked number next to his name after this one, that's what you need from your captain some night. And I think that actually helps sort of solidify that's it. Because truth be told, it's a weird C, right? Longest tenured guy, been here forever. He's been here for so long, yet you look at how old he is, and you would think it would be a 47 next to his name, right? That's how young he entered the league. But it's a weird C. It feels like we got to give it to him C more than a C. I'm just being honest. I'm not telling you it's a bad thing. I'm just telling you that's kind of how I feel. Some organizations have a true captain, where it defines your entire franchise. Come on, man. Oh my God. Oh my God. This is embarrassing. Patrice Bergeron. Jesus Christ, dude. It's like I never watched the fucking game before. A Patrice Bergeron, a Chara. There are guys where it just hits different to see that on the chest. Well, when you have games like this, I think you can earn it more. And he's been in a weird spot because physically he's been broken down. And I hope that this is something that can be long-term all year long, because he can continue to stockpile points like this and games like this. And over time, that C hits different. I want it to hit different. I was kind of waiting to see how the crowd would react to him getting called last during the home opener ceremony. And I'd say Mitchkov got the loudest pop. Zegras got a nice pop. Delorier got a nice pop, which kind of pisses me off because what are we doing here? But Zamula got a heavy boo. Your agent shouldn't be so stupid trying to say you don't get an opportunity. Zamula, let me tell you something, all right? You suck. I mean, this is what it is. I hate to laugh. Okay, I hate to do that. It was a little sarcastic, but you suck. You suck. I don't know what else to tell you. You've played too much. You get too much time. I mean, it's disgusting to think about over the years how much time you've eaten up in a Flyers uniform. Tell your agent to shut up. It's brutal. He got the boost. Crazy, dude. Coots got a nice O, though. Coots got a nice O. You start scoring like this and dominating like this and setting up your teammates like this, and it can only go up from here. Whew. That was sick. Okay, let's go to Amadeo.
Dan Vladar for the Vezina. Dan Vladar for the Vezina.
Oh, no.
I've never seen a Flyers goaltender play that well in my goddamn life. But I digress. Bart was rocking tonight. Very good atmosphere. First 3 games of the season, I'd say taking 3 of 6 points, especially against the teams that you are playing against, should be 4 of 6 points if it wasn't that bullshit goaltender interference. But I digress on that too. 3 of 6 points against teams like Florida and Carolina, I'll take that as a win for this group. And there was a lot of good tonight. There definitely was a lot of good tonight. Mixed with the bad, because that's what's going to be with this team. There's going to be a lot of good and a lot of bad. Obviously with the goaltending has been very good in these first 3 games. Couturier had a fantastic game, and especially that fucking disgusting dish from Trevor Zegras. I have no idea how this man made that pass with 2 people on top of him behind the net. That was just impossible. And he just made the impossible possible. That was insane. Completely insane. So, love seeing that for Coots. Love seeing that for Zegras. The Noah Cates line is absolutely fantastic. Tyson Forster, 30 goals this year, I'm calling it. The power play actually looks cohesive. Even though they didn't score on it, it looks cohesive enough. So they got a fucking standing ovation. My God. Oh my goodness. And to the Matvei Mitchkov thing, he definitely does look slow out there. He definitely looks behind the 8 ball. So he'll be fine overall. I'm fine with Tocchet, giving him these little punishments in the early part of the season. We'll just see where it goes. But overall, I think Mitchkov will be fine. He just probably needs some games to get under him.
I hope so. It's obviously something to really study, but I don't mind it from Tocchet. I'm not telling you I'm going to love it forever, but right now I'm okay with it. A few things you hit on. Yeah, Tyson Forster, I kind of just talked real quickly right over the fact that he had sick puck control in a tight space with a lot of other sticks kind of in his vicinity, if you will. This guy's... there's a reason why I was super stoked about all the noise and what happened with the World Championships and playing with Celebrini and playing with Crosby and playing with Team Canada and associating yourself with those level of players in a tournament like that and being almost the shocking takeaway of it all. His foot's on the gas and he's not slowing down. I love how he plays without the puck. And we're all clearly obsessed with his shot. It's a cannon. It's heavy. It's quick. It's got that good balance between both. It's a laser. He does stuff without the puck that's almost just as beautiful. But when it comes to goal total, yeah, it's going to be high. 1 year it's 20, 1 year it's 25. This guy could be in the 35 plus. He's got that type of touch. Tyson. Ew. And then the other thing I want to say on Zegras is there was a lot of talk about how soft he was in Anaheim. So far, my favorite part of his game, I like the one-timer. I like a couple of the passes. I love the back tuck of the jersey. It just looks good with him. But I think so far the way he uses his body has been part of the most intriguing watch of it all. And I know that doesn't necessarily mean physicality. It doesn't mean toughness. But if he can use his body for that type of leverage, I don't know. Does that align with the word soft maybe? Because if he's willing to use it, I feel soft to shy away, and I've seen plenty of clips from Anaheim over the years on when he teeters with the line of soft, and I see it, and I get it, being the F1, going into the corners, looking for certain battles, picking and choosing when you kind of want to do it. Maybe that's just losing energy in Anaheim, and now you get a resurgence. You get to play on the East Coast. You get to play in a market like this. You have Tocchet. There's expectations. There's a standard that's trying to be set, and that recalibrates him a bit, and that's why his body usage looks the way that it does, protecting the puck. Maybe he wasn't bringing that element to Anaheim as much. I don't know. It's a lot different, and I'm talking about it so far with Mitchkov, I'm talking about it so far with Vladar, and now I'm talking about it with Zegras. You can watch guys from a distance all you want, but when you get to watch every shift, you get to watch every face-off, every draw, do you tie up your ringers, every forecheck, it's a lot different than catching the 10:30 Anaheim-LA Kings game on a Wednesday night. You know what I mean? So I don't know if this was lacking out there or not, but I find it interesting that he was labeled this soft guy who was unwilling to do certain things, yet so far, some of his best plays has been his ability to kind of utilize his body as leverage for whatever it's worth. Hey, Phillies fans, I love my cannabis, and game day, we know is stressful. Parking, traffic, long lines, we've all been there. But when it comes to your cannabis, Camden Apothecary makes it easy. And they are only 5 minutes over the bridge. This is the dispensary for sports fans, just minutes outside of Philly with plenty of free parking. You'll be in and out fast, no hassle, no waiting. And they don't just care about convenience. Camden Apothecary is all about the guest experience. Their staff makes sure that you feel taken care of every time you walk in. Plus, they carry only the best quality cannabis at the fairest prices. So whether you're stocking up for the tailgate, the watch party, or celebrating a big win, you know you're getting the good stuff without overpaying. They even show love to the community with specials for fans, students, service members, and healthcare pros. Camden Apothecary, top quality cannabis, great prices, and an experience made for Philly fans 21 and up. Tell them Brodes sent you for 10% off. We love our cannabis, baby. Camden Apothecary, the best in the world. Let's go to Sam.
Wow, what a game. The crowd, the play, the opponent. We need these games all year. Whether we make the playoffs or not, we need them for our franchise. Another solid goalie game. Brodes, you're worried about longevity, and you should be. But they're playing good now, not just because it's early and they're fresh, but they're actually playing good. Grabenkin, Luchenko, and Emil Andre should be in our lineup most nights. There isn't actually anything wrong with Luchenko playing good fourth-line minutes this year. There's nothing wrong with that, and he looked really nice tonight. And I'll throw this out there about the Mitchkov situation. And it's not a slight on Mitchkov at all. He's going to win us a cup. I'm sure of it. But maybe if Mitchkov is your best player, you suck. And we don't suck. Our Couturier and Zegras lines need time to materialize. It's going to get there.
I'm a little confused on what you meant by if Mitchkov is your best player, you suck. I don't know what that means. But, okay, a few things. I do think the goalies look this outstanding because they are fresh. I do think that's part of it. But you're right. They are playing well. We'll see how it progresses. The Luchenko thing. So, you know why I don't have a problem with him if he's a fourth liner? Because I think he's a bottom six forward. Now, he's fast. He's got speed. But he kind of projected to be a 3C. So if he's playing fourth line, you say, yeah, I don't really mind him playing fourth line. It's like, well, it's probably because he is more of a bottom six guy than not, even when he maximizes what his potential is. So that's why I kind of almost agree with you. But I think we're in this weird sensitive spot with Luchenko, where every time he does something, we have to point it out to an obnoxious level and make it bigger than what it is. And, I think he obviously used his speed and his quick strides to create a tripping in the neutral zone. He should have got another penalty for the Flyers to have a man advantage. They called the Hathaway running into the goalie thing instead, but he got blown up. It looked knee to knee, man. It really did. It looked pretty intense. I'm surprised there wasn't a call on that. But I think it gets... there's a fracture, obviously, because of the ones like myself that want Booyum. But every time he does something, it's either the greatest thing in the entire world, or if he makes a mistake, he's the worst player ever, and there's this civil war behind it. And I think even when we give him positive stuff, we critique it too much and make it a bigger deal. And then when he has guys have turnovers, like, you're going to have turnovers. It doesn't mean he stinks either. I think he's probably here a little too prematurely, but can he survive? I think he can survive. Do I think it's what's best for him? No, I don't think going back to the OHL is either. And I think they're in this weird spot and they feel of the two, this is a better option. And it very well could be. It very well could be to push you to see exactly what you got here compared to playing in the storm. I think he was okay, though. I think he was okay. He made some things happen out there and, put guys in the box. And his speed is always noticeable. But I think the word sensitive is almost the perfect way to sort of describe how this fan base is with him. And it just seems so extreme. Everything he does is one way or the other, the best ever or the worst. He was worthy of being out there tonight. Which, against the Florida Panthers team, you take, I guess. All right. What a night. What a night. Smell that? Smells like a cup.